Are you tired of the same old routine? Getting in, getting staggered, getting wrecked?
No, wait. No.
Break the cycle with Mobile Suit Skills. It's just that simple.
No way!
Yes way. Mobile Suit Skills will make you slap harder than Bright Noah on a bad day. Like this.
Oh, please, guide me. Please.
You're the best. They love me. They really love me. We'll show you how to use Mobile Suit Skills and win matches. What?
Mobile Suit skill let me carry myself and my teammates S-. Now I get to bully everyone. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Biker and Wong.
So what are you waiting for? Learn and use Mobile Suit Skills today. Using Mobile Suit Skills may cause side effects such as increased enjoyment of GBO2 chances to stagger down enemies that understand skills and carrying yourself and your team to victory. Prolonged use of Mobile Suit Skills may boost confidence. Contact your doctor if you experience an inflated ego lasting for more than 4 hours.
Alright, so what's the deal with Mobile Suit Skills? In this video, we'll explain how to use them to avoid getting staggered. Staggers help you attack, reposition, save allies, and more. Avoid getting staggered while pushing, and you'll put your team in a great position to win.
Alright, no more dilly-dallying, folks. Let's talk about it. No, not the birds and the bees. Stagger and build stun. You're probably familiar with insta-stagger weapons like bazookas. Beyond insta-stagger, most weapons have a build stun value. When build stun reaches 100%, the target is staggered. Build stun resets if they haven't been hit in 3 seconds. Practice mode or the Japanese wiki can show you each weapon's build stun.
If you want to truly carry yourself, you absolutely have to learn the build stun value of your weapons and your enemy's weapons. Some suits have weapons that deal 50% stagger per shot, or Vulcans that can stagger an enemy in seconds. It's critical to use build stun and insta-stagger to stop your enemies and save your allies. Now, what if you're about to get staggered? Mobile suits have skills that help you avoid getting staggered. We'll also show ways to stop enemies that are using these skills. Check the text on the right. Ways to counter mobile suit skills include range stagger, melee stagger, melee topple attack, any melee that instantly knocks down the enemy, heavy range stagger, heavy melee stagger, build stun, and tackle.
So, diving straight in. Starting with passive skills. Explosive reactive armor negates splash staggers from weapons like bazookas. If you watch your toes and avoid direct hits, you'll keep moving.
The counters on the right are all in green since they can all stagger suits with the skill. Speaking of explosions, suits normally get heavy staggered by MS explosions. With the anti-blast stabilizer skill, it negates this heavy stagger from exploding suits. Here's an odd but situational tip. If you're right next to an enemy without explosive reactive armor, and they hit you with a splash stagger weapon like a bazooka, you'll both be staggered. Your body acts as a surface for the splash stagger to hit the enemy too.
Definitely situational, but it'll give you a chance to counterattack or give your teammates time to help you. Another passive skill is shock dampener. This degrades any stagger down 1 level. For example, a ranged or melee heavy stagger becomes a regular stagger, and regular stagger or flinch is negated.
Not all of the counters on the right are in green since only some of them can stagger suits with the skill. Regular range and melee stagger are ignored by the skill, so they're shown in gray. In case you didn't know, many ranged weapons can cause suits to flinch. Flinching interrupts the startup animations of walking, boosting, jumping, shooting, and even melee and wires. Flinch affects enemies and teammates, so be mindful when unloading flinching shots near teammates. You could interrupt their timing and get them killed. Some raids like the Z Zulu and Trism Gallus have close combat program, which degrades range stagger by level and boosts walk speed, high speed movement, and turning speed, but only if melee weapons are out. Swapping between melee and ranged weapons can trick the enemy into wasting their stagger. Anti-beam coating and chop armor are two similar but different skills. Anti-beam coating degrades range beam stagger by 1 level and reduces that damage as well. Choppable armor degrades range ballistic stagger by 1 level, reduces that damage, and negates ballistic build stun. However, the fun stops when suits with either skill drop below half health. Anti-beam coating no longer degrades beam staggers and, depending on the skill level, can drop beam resistance as low as 0%, even if you have beam resist parts. The same thing applies for choppable armor, but for ballistic staggers and resistance.
Other similar passive skills like Eye Field are exclusive to a specific area of the suit like the chest or shield. This skill downgrades ranged beam staggers 1 level. To use this, you'll present the part of the suit with the skill towards the enemy, and increase the likelihood of them hitting that area with their stun.
Shields also act like eye fields, but downgrade any ranged staggers by 1 level. The shield position depends on the direction of your movement. Moving right or backwards puts your shield in front of you, with some exceptions. Moving left or forward exposes you more. Face your shield towards aggressing enemies, and move backwards to block staggers with your shield. Just make sure it's a real shield with HP, and not just a shield buffer. Damage control is a passive skill that increases the amount of build stun you can take before getting staggered. Don't get overconfident. You can't avoid insta-stagger with damage control, so use your terrain and non-linear movement to make them waste their insta-stagger. Once their insta-stagger is on cooldown, you can approach the enemy and attack them with your own insta-stagger without too much worry of getting staggered by their build stun. Just don't miss. Now what about active skills like maneuver armor, also known as MA?
When using MA, any ranged stagger is reduced 1 level. Suits blessed with this skill will activate maneuver armor when boosting. As soon as you predict a normal insta-stagger, boost to activate MA and you'll negate it. Pair that with Force Injector and you can shrug off consecutive insta-staggers.
In case you didn't know, Forced Injector is a skill that allows suits to cancel a boost with another boost to chain back-to-back boosts. Each cancelled boost temporarily strains your legs. Too many boosts and you'll fall over. Higher levels of Forced Injector reduce the amount of thrust used each time.
Take note, latency from lag types makes frame-perfect MA unreliable. Instead of tapping boost for quick MA, hold your boost until you see the effect of the shot disappear to negate stagger.
You can use MA creatively, such as boosting right up to the enemy. If they fire a regular splash stagger weapon like a bazooka, they'll stagger themselves and it won't affect you.
Higher levels of MA reduces build stun against you. This means enemies need to fire more shots than usual to stagger you with build stun.
Offense system is similar to MA but only degrades range stagger by 1 level during melee. If an enemy with offense system is bullying your ally, please save them with something other than regular range stagger. Similar to MA, one of my favorite active skills is fall prevention. By jumping or falling, you'll activate it and degrade ranged stagger weapons by 1 level. However, boost midair and you'll deactivate this skill. Try attacking from unexpected angles. For example, hop out of left corners like a grasshopper, take a range shot in the air and land your own stagger on the enemy. Speaking of falling, you can fire a ranged weapon in the air if it isn't a stand-to-shoot weapon. Move off a platform and shoot the unsuspecting enemy on the way down.
On the topic of jumping, fast falling is a technique to descend faster and avoid being an easy floating target. While in the air, press the crouch button to quickly descend. Here's movement without fast fall. And here's movement with fast fall. Definitely quicker. As someone who plays Raid every once in a while,
Lies! Blasphemy! He's the M-Man!
I often use Assault Booster, an active skill exclusive to raids. Similar to fall prevention, it reduces range stagger by 1 level while midair.
It also increases your jumping speed and reduces the time to jump by a fair amount. Higher levels of the skill speed up both time to jump and jumping speed.
Again, all raids have this skill, which can be invaluable to catch pesky high-up supports. And you remember what we do to supports, right? All supports must die. All of them.
If you're using a support with the stabilization device skill, you're in luck. With this skill, you can crouch to degrade staggers by 1 level like shock dampeners. If you're downswung, you'll react as if you're a heavy stagger. If you're hit with a tackle or heavy stagger, you'll stand back up and have to crouch again to reactivate the skill. Technically, you can't tackle while crouching, but just take a step to stand up so you can tackle. In space, staying still will activate the skill, so you'll need to move slightly before you can counter. Continuing with manually activated skills, Active Guard uses the touchpad button. or the special weapon button on PC to negate all stun and reduce damage you would receive while blocking. As you hold your guard, you'll continually use your boost. If the opponent isn't expecting it, they may shoot and rush in for a melee swing. Block the shot and you'll be ready to counter. When you block, you'll be stuck until the stagger finishes, so make sure you have enough HP. Higher levels of the skill reduce even more damage and allow you to boost into block or block into counter. A similar skill called Defense Mode also negates all stun, but reduces less damage than Active Guard.
Some transforming suits have a neat trick. Recall that shock dampeners can reduce stagger by 1 level. If a suit gains the shock dampener skill in transform mode, it can transform at the right time to avoid staggered. For example, the Rizel gains shock dampeners in transform mode. Time it so you're fully transformed before the regular stagger hits and you'll shake it with no problem.
What about when you untransform? Normally, enemies can tackle or wire you out of the sky. Untransform when they're about to hit you and shake it off. Time it perfectly to move right through and get the advantage. Suits that transform into a tank like Molag de Hidolfa and the Lotto get this ability when transforming and untransforming. Use it to throw off your enemies. Bound Dog also gets this because it's, definitely a tank. Yeah.
Do remember that transforming while invincible from spawn or getting back up will remove your invincibility.
Emergency Braking, a space-only maneuver, can degrade range stagger by 1 level. Master the timing and you can negate a regular range stagger, and maybe get a cheeky counter too if the enemy is stuck in the rhythm of stun into downswing. Emergency Evasion, or dodge rolling, makes you invincible as you roll. You can control the direction of your dodge roll. Overheat ends in 7 seconds, or around 6 for ground or water compatible suits. Some supports may have resist move instead of emergency evasion. You'll negate staggers like a dodge roll, but still take damage. Different levels of the skill use less of your thrusters so you can perform back-to-back dodge rolls.
If you can predict an enemy stagger, you can roll through it and land your own, while theirs are on cooldown. Just remember, if you roll while taking lethal damage, iframes may not protect you. Damn lag. Dodge rolls can also cancel attack animations. If your legs are busted, consider rolling to move around and continue your combo. You can be creative and use this defensive skill on the offense.
Caution! We've seen players dodge roll after getting staggered. Unless you're dodge rolling to avoid serious range damage, a knockdown, a wire, or rolling into cover, it's often better to short boost after you're staggered to reposition. Overheating your thrusters limits your options and lets your enemies know that they can come in and take you to the movies.
Dodge roll wisely, or you're just asking for him to come teach you a lesson.
Lieutenant says... Anyway, let's talk about Charged Heavy Attack.
These attacks have the highest melee priority and reduce stagger by 1 level.
It also ignores buffers and goes through shields.
You could use it like maneuver armor and plow through regular ranged or melee staggers. It's also useful for skirting a corner with no thrust left. Be alert. Heavy range stagger and in certain cases, heavy melee staggers from wires can take you out of your charged heavy attack.
Quick tip about charged heavy attacks. We've seen teammates heavy attack through enemies and friends. Suits that are knocked down by enemies have invincibility for about 5 seconds when they're back up, or until they transform, attack, or charge a weapon. However, suits knocked down by teammates will have about 2 seconds of invincibility when they're back up. Consider your situation before charge heavy attacking through your teammates and enemies.
Quick turn can only be used while boosting. It negates all staggers, but you'll take increased damage while spinning 180. Bait out a tackle or a stagger to spin around them and unload your charged heavy attack all over them. Oh yeah.
Enemies can't stagger you if they can't see you coming. Stealth skill level 1, 2, and 3 will keep you off enemy radar until you're 100 meters, 50 meters, or until you lose stealth. You're free to change or charge your weapon, but you'll lose stealth when you attack. You'll get it back once you stop attacking after 3 seconds. Look out for enemies with the anti-stealth skill. If their anti-stealth is the same or higher level than your stealth, you'll show up on their radar. If your stealth level is higher, you'll show up on the radar an additional 50 meters earlier. For example, anti-stealth level 1 and stealth level 3 means you'll show up at 50 meters instead of not showing up at all until you attack. Just remember, even though you're not on radar, enemies do have eyes. Get Smoky of temporary stealth. Smoke can be used while boosting but not underwater, but you can use it before you go underwater. Typically, smoke type weapons give you level 1 stealth for 10 seconds, and reduce any damage you take by 1%. The level of stealth and how long it lasts can vary between smoke type weapons, so check the Japanese wiki. Just like with the stealth skill, enemies with the anti-stealth skill can negate or reduce your stealth range. Don't have stealth? Don't move for 3 seconds. Oddly enough, you can move your camera and still stay hidden. You can change and charge weapons, but if you take a step or attack, you'll be exposed. Infiltrate the enemy with the fake beacon skill and show up as an ally on their radar. The higher the level, the further away you'll show up as a friend. Attacking, you'll lose it, but you'll get it back in 3 seconds. Enemies with the jamming skill can negate your fake beacon skill. Suits with the mode change like Exam or Hades negate everything on activation. However, just like dodge rolling with low health, if you activate it while taking lethal damage, you just might die. Similar to these modes, there are passive modes like Biosensor that kick in when your HP drops below a certain point. When it activates, you ignore all staggers at that very moment, including downswings.
Don't use this unless you're trying to survive the last few seconds of a match, stall, or skirt a corner. If you tackle while taking lethal damage, you'll often die during your tackle animation. The enemy may or may not fall over, depending on what the lag gods have ruled.
Here's another trick. If you're tackled and know the enemy doesn't have any other tackles or dodge rolls left, try boosting to the side and then tackle them while switching to your melee weapon. You'll either get a free counter while they melee you, or interrupt them with a tackle. If your tackle lands, hold down the melee attack button without any directions and your neutral swing in most cases will land first. The fun thing about tackling is that it will turn into a counter as long as you slam into the enemy during their melee animation, even if you're tackling them from behind.
Here's an odd one that's very situational. If your mobile suit is fully prone, you'll ignore all staggers. So, if you're crouched and see an enemy approaching with a stagger, you can press the crouch button once more to go fully prone. This will ignore their stagger. However, this doesn't negate downswings or charged heavy attacks.
We've showcased a lot of skills, but there are other ways to avoid staggers without using those skills. Keep moving in a non-linear fashion to stay unpredictable and difficult to hit. You're in a 3D environment after all, so take advantage of it. The higher your walk speed and smaller your mobile suit size, the more difficult you'll be to hit. Now this is a skill that everyone can take advantage of.
Well, almost everyone.
Anything with a physical body is also a good way to avoid stagger. Your buildings, enemies, and even your friends can soak up staggers for you. Constantly be aware of your surroundings and move between cover while you push in for the win.
Wait, be nice, don't make your allies take staggers. Some of them aren't M's. Share the damage, folks.
You heard him, everyone get the M-Man!
No, I'm not an M. No. No, that's my brother. God damn.
Special thanks to these awesome people for helping us out. That's it for now. If this video helped, please like and subscribe. Maybe we'll even be able to pay our bills. Leave some feedback in the comments section and let us know what you want to see next. Stop by my stream sometime and say hi.
Come stop by my YouTube channel as well. A lot of great GBO2 vids to help you out further, or just provide some fun. And my Twitch, so come say hi.